one of the things that's very common among, the common thread among all of them is the fact that you got to get access to your capital again, either by a refinance or cash out purchase or whatever it may be. So one of the things that is really nice these days is to be able to understand what's going on in the lending world. I'm a lender, but I'm on the commercial side. And Shannon is going to introduce his speaker that he brought today, and I think it'll be very timely for us, and I think there'll be some surprising things. So I'm not going to steal any more of his thunder. Shannon, why don't you take it away and introduce Marsha?
Thanks. Hi, I'm Shannon with Guarantee Real Estate. I'm at the Big Art Flex office. Quick plug too, I've got a new commercial industrial listing, but this isn't my presentation, so if you guys want to hear more about it, just talk to me about it later and I'll discuss it with you. I've got flyers I can email you. A few weeks ago, or actually about a month and a half ago, Marsha and I were in the middle of a very, very difficult and challenging residential transaction. It had twists and turns that you just cannot believe. It was something that I think is indicative of the current market we're in that everything is absolutely confusing, especially in residential. You've got, almost as many different underwriting guidelines for lending money as you have actual institutions. And even within those institutions, you've got differing types of opinions coming from all over the place. And the transaction that we just completed was so challenging and difficult. I told Marsha, I said, we should really talk about this because there's a whole bunch of investors and a whole bunch of people who are actually out in the marketplace who haven't, gone through this pain and agony that we just went through, literally. And so I tossed this idea by her, a couple months ago. I said, hey, Marsha, why don't you come in and speak to the Investor Network group and stuff? And so we kind of, went back and forth about it, and we kind of tossed back and forth some ideas and stuff. And so that's what we're here to do. That's what Marsha is here to do. Marsha Auchard is the principal of Mortgage Associates. She's been in business since 1987 and is an approved lender with a whole slew of banks. I'll have to let her tell you about which ones specifically. I myself have known and worked with her since 2007, and Marsha really does know her business in terms of residential. She's going to give you all kinds of ins and outs and exactly what's happening in the marketplace, what you guys need to look out for, and she's going to be here for answering a ton of questions. So if you're as confused as I am in the marketplace, then come let Marsha Auchard dispel some of your confusion. Thanks a lot.
Just so you guys know, Marsha, I'm sorry to interrupt. Just so you guys know, we're going to shut this thing down at about 1:30 if it continues to go on, which I have a feeling you'll probably have a lot of questions. So if you need to leave, please feel free to get up and leave. We won't take offense. Marsha, it's all yours.
Thank you. Shannon, of course, asked me to come. I put together a little speech on investment properties and financing and flipping, and I hope to address all the issues that Shannon had given me. You've got a lot of handouts, and they're not to you in any particular order, but we will touch upon each and every one of them. And this wasn't part of my speech, but I just pulled it up this morning. I'm on this network of California housing lenders and nonprofits and whatever, and so you'll have a bulletin here from HUD, from the Secretary of HUD. It's an announcement on, says HUD News. And this, I haven't read it in detail, but I thought I would print it for you because it says they unveil a new tool to attract private capital into neighborhoods recovering from foreclosure. And there's a HUD portal. I'm assuming all of you are somewhat computer savvy. There's a HUD portal to go to get all kinds of information. So again, I haven't read it, but it's just released today. It is Wednesday, right? It was just released today, and so it does apply to you, and I understand most of you are more investor type person. So, and about HUD homes. All right. An investment property. And I do mostly single family, so an investment property is a 1 to 4 family property that the borrower does not occupy, whether or not it produces any type of income. So it does not include commercial properties, and these issues are important in that the residential lender has issues with regard to how many investment properties you own and have mortgages on. So So it's not commercial, it's not, if you go to a 5-unit property, it does not account, so to speak, against you. It doesn't include timeshares and apartments or whatever. Right now, there is a limit, but there are some lenders out there who exceed the limit, a limit of 4 financed properties. So if you as an investor have your mortgage, your primary residence, you're allowed to have 3 additional properties financed. That's the basic rule. There are some lenders out there who will go up to 10. 10 used to be, and some of the used to be's are now coming back. We have in lending seen a horrendous cutback on properties on types of loans, and since all of this fiasco kind of has happened. So now we can go up to 10 units, but you do pay a price for it too.
Can you do cash out of those 10 units?
Yes.
Oh, you can?
Yes.
Oh, very good.
So that's good that it came back.
Yeah.
I have another page, since you asked. You can ask questions anytime. There's another piece of paper, single one about loan. We can address it now, about loan to values. It's a chart. So it says non-owner and an 80% loan to value. So I'm going to skip. You'll have to forgive me. I'm not an organized speaker. So in conventional lending, because you can't do an FHA non-owner, but we'll get into that for your buyers, you can go up to 80% on a purchase. All right? The pricing on an 80% loan is higher than a 75% loan. So if you were willing to come in with 5% more on an investment property, you could get a better price. I won't go into that because it's like bizarre. Then what else do we have? We have I don't know where my paper is, so okay. Then we have a 75% rate term. And then we have a 75% 2 to 4 unit, and cash out then up to 75%.
Okay.
Okay? And cash out on a 2 to 4 unit is not 75, it's 70. Right now on that same page, you'll see conforming loan limits for 1 and 2 to 4 unit properties. Shortly, and I know you received mail because I do belong to FAR too. There's a big brouhaha brewing that Fannie Mae is going to lower their loan limits. FHA is going to lower their loan limits. It is going to be, I don't know, it's going to be bizarre when it does happen. I do think they're going to lower their loan limits. So right now, for an FHA buyer purchase, they can go up to 381. But that was based on high value. So now they're going to bring those puppies down, and my guess is that it's going to be in the 280s and maybe even less. So that impacts regular homeowner buyers, but it'll also impact your purchaser if you're flipping. And normally